Okay, now we're gonna be using a photoresistor as a sensor. This is called a photoresistor, also called a light dependent resistor, LDR, or a photocell. Basically, the photocell it works like this. When a light is applied onto it, it starts conducting electricity on these two terminals here. These two terminals. That means if you were to put a circuit diagram here and you put light on, current will start flowing. So that can be used as a sensor as well, because it changes state. And what exactly changes the state is how this is designed. You see, this is coated with what they call cadmium sulfide. This is cadmium sulfide. It comes in yellowish color, and it's a mixture of cadmium and some other mixture to form cadmium sulfide. And cadmium sulfide is coated here, but probably not in the state, not in the powder state, but because cadmium sulfide in itself, it's sensitive to light. That means applying light to this mixture and running electricity through it, what happens is that it changes a state. That means it starts becoming more conductive. So basically now you are going to apply electricity to this mixture, but in the form of it has been metallized, like it's now in a metal form. So basically now when light strikes, it changes the state of the cadmium sulfate, which now starts conducting. That means its composition it's okay. Let's say it moves from a powder state to, we are moving towards now the electrons. The electrons within this, they start to change state. They start becoming moving. That means they start moving towards the electrodes, the bands that they are inside. Basically what happens is that they are if you look at a transistor is formed of like 3 bands, or a diode is formed of 2 bands. So basically what happens is that when light comes in, it starts making this to be more conductive. The electron starts moving around excuse me. And it depends on, they don't only use cadmium sulfide, they can use many materials, different ones. All the light dependent resistors are different, so all you need is a material that is sensitive to light when electricity passes through it. Or even if electricity does not pass through it, you just need to have something that is reactive to light, and then you coat it on top. It could be anything that is reactive to light. If you could find it here in this world, you can actually create your new photoresistor with it. So now how does this work as a sensor? How it works is that if you apply light here, you are causing the circuit to start conducting. So we can just have a look at our original circuit again. Now here is our original circuit. Let's where does this used? It's used in many areas, but at the moment let's make an example that it will switch a street light on when it becomes dark. That means most street lights, they actually use some kind of photoresistor. So in this instance, if we want to switch on the light on a normal, just a general circuit, we will just click here. And remember this, for you to click, it means that you have to notice that it's dark, and then now you have to manually go and push this button for the light to be on. So but what if now we want the light to be automatic? How can we say, you know what, we have a technology here that when it becomes dark, the light will automatically switch itself on? That's when it can, and the way we speak is that we say it can sense that, you know what, it's dark, and then it switches on. That's amazing. That's technology right there. Now, how does that become achieved? Well, it's that circuit again. We just remove this switch and wire it relatively to this one. Basically, it's like you have removed this switch and wire it as a replacement. That means now light will come striking and it will cause this current to flow. When it becomes dark, there is no light, so it switches off. That is what generally happens. With all sensors, you are just replacing the switch with what is called a sensor. I mean, you can wire it in so many ways. It's like this light bulb switches on. We can actually do this and wire this like so. Okay, let's say we remove this battery and we just wire it. This is like wiring something in parallel. Don't be confused because I did not structure it correctly, but when when light strikes, now assuming that we have removed this switch, this physical switch, assuming that we have removed it, now we put it there. Now when light strikes the top of this, it will switch on both lights. That is how it works. And we can also use it in the state. There is another switch here. Basically what we would want is that we put this very close to this light, so that when we switch on this light, there is another light here that will it will depend on whether this light is on or off. You see, so basically you can set up a circuit to switch on another circuit based on somebody switching on a light on the other room. So I switch on the light. Now imagining that this switch now it's sitting here. That means we have basically wired this to that. It is like, because this is a JPEG, I'm not able to basically use it as a switch, but what happens now, the light will go, get into one pin, move and go out to the other. So when this is close to this light, what will then happen is that the light will go on. It will just go green and that will go on. And when we switch off this light, this will go off because there is no light that is striking this top part. Now this obviously it depends on the distance. The further away, you'll find that now you are not able to detect light coming through into this. But the closer you are, the more. Now you switch on, this hits the light and guess what, green, it just switches on. So that's using a photoresistor as a light detector. And you can also use a remote control. If you want to switch on your TV, the remote emits a light onto this sensor, and then it switches on your TV set on the other side. You know, it will just switch on your TV. Let's say this was your TV set and this is your remote control, and you are placing it, you are pointing it towards this sensor here, which is now a it's a switch. Now we call it a sensor because it will be sensing the light, so it will switch on your TV set. So it shows that you can use it for anything that you want, even in an alarm system. What will normally happen is that you wire your switch, your if this was how it was working, you remove this switch to be replaced by this, you know, so that when you click it, when light strikes, an alarm goes off. That means a person will be passing in between here, because now what do you have? You have a person disturbing the light. Basically, when you, if you have a buzzer in the side, you have a buzzer. Anybody that passes here will cause the light to flicker, and once it flickers, it will trigger a buzzer on the other end. So you're using it as an interrupter as well between this light and that. So you can, it has many uses as a sensor. I hope this is understandable, and thank you for watching.